All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today, Tristan Lee gets a much more official, much more accurate body composition test. He gets a hydrostatic body fat test done, and it comes out in this hydrostatic test that Tristan is in fact 4.4% body fat. Now, you guys may have seen on Tristan's Instagram a day or so ago, him and his brother, I believe it was his brother, were doing a caliper body fat test, which as you guys know, depending on who's performing the caliper test and where you measure, I think there's a pretty significant margin of error with the caliper body fat measurement system. But on the caliper test, it read that Tristan was 5% body fat or somewhere around there. And I said in my last video on this topic that I believed that Tristan was that low. I think that number is accurate as far as him being someone that's in a true range of 5% or less. I think there's lots of guys, lots of bodybuilders in particular, that claim to be around 5% body fat or less than 5% body fat, but I think the percentage of guys that really get to a number like that is a lot fewer than you would think. But Tristan, I think, is one of those guys, and I said this in my last video, I think genetics plays a heavy role. Tristan is crazy lean year-round. Granted, right now he's prepping for a show, so he's probably a little bit, if not a lot, leaner than usual. But he's genetically lean. So the fact that he's genetically lean and he's dieting right now, prepping for a show, I should say, I didn't think the 5% was that unrealistic because Tristan's whole thing, I mean, he's kind of known for being shredded. He's not really necessarily known for being this big mass monster guy. He's kind of known just because he's always this super shredded looking kid. It's kind of his calling card. So now his measurement is 4.4% body fat according to the hydrostatic test. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys believe he's at that body fat? Personally, I do. But typically when guys come out and say I'm X% body fat, people tend to try to find some controversy in that. But me personally, I believe Tristan on this one. Now, next up in the news, the 2021 New York Pros coming up in May of this year in a few months here. Now, initially, the big talk of that show has been Blessing and Nick Walker because they've had a very public Instagram beef. And really, they're the main two guys that have announced that they're officially doing that show. Now, and by the way, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Blessing and Nick. I think they've gotten a lot of publicity from this, but Blessing did post a physique update. So has Nick, but this is the latest from Blessing. He's talking about getting the size of his waist down. And actually, in this particular picture, I think his waist doesn't look that small. In past pictures that he's posted, his waist looked a lot smaller than this to me. To me, in this one, his waist actually looks kind of thick. I honestly thought in the past that one of Blessing's stronger points against Nick would be the fact that Blessing has a pretty good V-taper. And from what I saw in the past, he had a pretty small waist. But in this picture, I don't know. Am I tripping here? Or it really doesn't look that small to me. Maybe Blessing and Nick might be a closer battle than we initially expected. But anyway, one guy that I suspect is going to be competing in the New York Pro this year, I think we're going to see John De La Rosa compete. He posted this physique update, which I believe is a recent one. He says, if I have seen further, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants. Some interesting things happening for the 2021 season. So I believe this is a 2021 physique update from John. John's a guy, he's done a lot of New York Pros, I believe. And he's usually a top 3, top 4 placer, but not a lot of people are talking about John. I think it's probably because he hasn't officially announced that he's doing it. But I think we're going to also see John in that New York Pro lineup. And I think he's probably someone that's more dangerous than both Blessing and Nick in that lineup. But no one's really talking about it. I think John is a fantastic bodybuilder, and he might catch some people by surprise at the New York Pro, assuming he's doing it. I think he is. I just want to put that out there, man, because I feel like this has kind of become the Blessing and Nick show, this New York Pro. When in reality, I think there's a pretty high probability that maybe neither of these guys win the New York Pro. I mean, let's keep it real here. Let's not go overboard. They are basically rookie bodybuilders in the IFBB. And if you ask me, I think John would probably beat both of them. And now, a word from our sponsors. All right, guys, I'm happy to announce that Keeps decided to sponsor today's video as well. So Keeps is a company that offers easier access to hair loss treatment, prescription medication delivered at home, online doctor consultations, etc. Did you know that 2 out of every 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35 years old? And the best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. Look at some of these before and after pictures here. Prevention is key. Keeps treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months to see results, so it's important to act fast. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you'll save.
Find out today why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors and why nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to the link in the description box below, keeps.com/NSP, to save 50% off your first order. That is KEEPS.com/NSP for 50% off. Thank you again to Keeps for sponsoring today's video. These sponsorships really help out a lot, especially now when bodybuilding news is kind of slow. All right, guys, so next up in the news, Good Vito. His sponsor posted this, so one of his sponsors, Vayu Red. So a lot of people said this was in response to the photoshopped pictures comments about Good Vito. So Good Vito recently has come under fire by a lot of different Instagram pages I've seen post these comparisons, suggesting that the pictures posted on Vito's page are in fact Photoshopped. Now, they posted this posing video, obviously not filtered, and obviously no filters are needed. And this is one of the reasons why I was so surprised that some of these pictures do appear to be shopped. Because honestly, based on what I've seen from the videos and pictures outside of Good Vito's page, he doesn't need to Photoshop any of his pictures. There's no question that Vito is already a very impressive bodybuilder. His leg proportion looks like it's Photoshopped, but it's not. It doesn't need to be. His legs are just that insane. You look at the size of this guy's quads, you think, man, that can't be real. But it is. So it makes you wonder, why would he Photoshop those pictures? And I want to draw your attention back to the original post from the Who is the Best Bodybuilder Instagram page. Who is the Best BB, I should say. Theirs was the post that got a lot of attention that I saw. I saw there were some IFBB pros that even liked that post. Their comparison shot here of a clearly altered picture. The upper body in the picture on the left is clearly altered, and that was posted on Good Vito's page. So you can see in this video, Good Vito, I should say Vitaly Ugonikov. For those of you guys that don't know, he's a young Russian bodybuilder, crazy amount of potential. He's gone viral the past year or so because of how crazy his physique is. But lately, you know, these Photoshop things have been, there's been a lot of talk about this. So people were basically saying this is Vito and his sponsor's answer, essentially, to the Photoshop claims. And honestly, I think it just still doesn't answer the question. I think there's no question that Good Vito is a crazy, freaky bodybuilder. We all agree on that. I don't think anybody is taking that into question. It's these pictures that is mainly the controversy here. And I think this post by Who is the Best BB Instagram page, it makes a very strong case for at least something suspicious. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Good Vito Photoshops his pictures? Yes or no? Why or why not? Comment in the comment section below. Now, next up in the news, something you don't see every day. Jeremy Buendia, former men's physique Mr. Olympia champ, going through some bodybuilding poses. In this video, he only hits a side chest. But Jeremy had posted another posing video right before that, going through some other bodybuilding poses. So it's kind of interesting because Jeremy has basically, I mean, he's definitely teased and he's hinted at switching divisions. He's hinted at a comeback, not necessarily to men's physique. He's talked about classic. Some people even thought maybe he would jump in bodybuilding. And him posting these posing videos and him getting back into training, it seems, and starting to really rebuild his physique from the time off that he took, I think we might see Jeremy Buendia compete in a classic physique competition in 2021 when the season starts back up. I've said this before, whether you like Jeremy or dislike Jeremy, his physique does have a lot of the characteristics that they're looking for in classic physique. The men's physique and classic crossover is mainly the small waist. They're looking for a great V-taper in men's physique, and a V-taper will carry you a long way in classic physique as well, but you got to have the legs to go with it. So I'm actually pretty curious to see what Jeremy's next move is, but again, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of Jeremy's physique? Give me some honest opinions here. I know he won the men's physique Mr. Olympia multiple times, but for classic physique or for any other division, do you think Jeremy has the physique to carry him? Let's just talk specifically classic. Let's not talk about bodybuilding. Do you think there's enough potential there with Jeremy's physique to successfully cross over to a division like classic physique and then be competitive as a pro? Do you think he can replicate the Logan Franklin model? I guess only time will tell. Now, the final story I wanted to touch on very quickly in this video, Brian Shaw posted a video today that I thought was fantastic, where he talks about his sports trading card collection. He talks a little bit about Pokemon cards in the beginning of that intro, and talks about just the popularity that trading cards are experiencing right now. And I wanted to encourage you guys to A, go watch Brian's video, and B, if you guys are interested in trading cards, specifically Pokemon cards, a lot of you guys are millennials, probably my age. I just started a second channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon. If you guys are interested in checking it out,
I would highly recommend you go check it out. Go subscribe. If you're not interested, that's fine too. Still love you guys. Still appreciate you guys. That's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe. As always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.